Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. 皆さんようこそ。もう一度このポストホメリカのオーディオブック美術を作ります。今回はこの2人の戦争の人はもう一度直す新しいフィギュアを作りましょう。そして今新しいドキュメントを使います。これは3500。そして四角作る。そして多分今この色、この茶色は作る。そうですね。So let's do this is going to be two different figures who are both inspired by imagery of Theseus, and I forget who it is that he fights, but different pictures that I'm kind of combining and making into my own thing. So we'll see how that goes. Oops. So we're going to turn this back to 60, whatever we usually use, 65-ish. We're going to put the bones in, or no, we don't put the bones in for the sketch. Oh, I think I filled this one with the color as well. We're going to delete this. Make a new layer. We have two figures to do here. Honestly, we should probably do them separately, but we'll see what happens. Here we go. So this is going to be sort of my own creation. So I sort of have a reference for it, but I'm going to do the pose myself. So one arm would sort of do this. And it's almost like a martial arts pose. I don't know if this is maybe too modern for the type of Greek stuff that we're doing, but we'll give it a shot. So it wouldn't be that, it would be more like this. Oh wait, his hand would be on this side this time. And he's sort of throwing the guy over, so we'll get that. Welcome Plot King to the show. We're doing more Greek illustrations. This time we're working on a new set of figures who are going to be the last figures that we need for the athlete games scene. And this one is two wrestlers wrestling with each other. Now, what if it was like... We'll leave this for now. This is sort of inspired by a pose that Theseus did in one of his things. So we'll leave this for now, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay. We're going to lock this one. Where's the lock? And we're going to get to work. Oh, wait. Before we got to unlock that. Turn it to halfway. And then relock it. Now we do it. We're going to give him the Greek eyes, even though it doesn't match the setting of the piece that I was doing that I'm inspired by, but I think that's going to be the right call. So now let's do this. Oh, we got to put the bones back into this too. Good for now. Yeah, so there is kind of like a really uncanny aspect to the way that the physiology works with these, where it's like he wouldn't really have his head turned like that, but that's sort of the paradigm of this Greek pottery, where a lot of that is just the way that they would depict it, you know, where it's like the head turns perfectly 90 degrees when the body is, you know, facing that way, and the way that the eyeball is kind of like that crazy, you know, it almost looks like the Egyptian sort of like iris eye, whatever that eye is. I think it's cool. God, this, like when you put the bones into this brush, it really gives you very sure-handed lines where I otherwise would be scratching it out with a pencil. Like I can make one stroke and it's like, whoa, that's what I envisioned it to be, but it doesn't actually usually work that way with a real pencil. In other words, it's pretty cool. It's a benefit of digital for sure. And this is also an instance where the one I'm inspired by, this Theseus image, is later in history that it was created. So I'm trying to like date back this picture that I'm doing to, it's inspired by this picture, but if I just did it the way that they did it in my reference picture, it would look too modern. So well, relatively modern. It's still like 2,000 years later. But we're going to try and sort of retrofit it to the style that the overall image is. So for example, this one has a paradigm in it where the foot is actually facing like in a pretty realistic sort of angle where it's like this, and the toes are here, and like that, where it's like sort of facing away from camera. And you know, that's like the underside of the foot, and that's the foot facing like that, like away from the viewer. But we are changing it to be facing like this, because that's, I don't think I've ever seen any Greek pottery from the era that I'm depicting that does the foot that way, or does anything at that angle. It's always facing parallel for those type of things. Okay, so now keep going. Good. I like it with the under part as well. Maybe we'll sort of incorporate something like that later. We'll like draw that back in or something. For now, though, we don't actually use the underneath drawings in the final. So this would be something like, oops. Like that. Almost giving him like a Looney Tunes hand for a second. I was going to give him 4 fingers. Okay. I'm almost giving him kind of like a Krav Maga pose or something, which is a little too modern, but we'll rectify it later. We'll see how it looks just overall. We don't want to screw around with the hands too much right now, because in the picture he's doing something different. Than what we're depicting him doing. He's not like throwing a guy down or whatever, or fighting him in a wrestling match. Okay, so that's one guy. Now we want to get the other guy in. Okay, so what am I trying to change about this part of the picture? What was I doing again? Hold on. Where was my reference picture? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna give him a thing. Let's maybe make his head a little bit taller too. I don't know how well this is gonna work. Oop. Because this type of one with the freaky eyes usually has an eyebrow. and we gave him too low of a thing. It's an easy mistake to make, is making the forehead too low. It's easy to forget about the forehead. Okay, so he's done for now. We'll just copy him in to the overall picture. Plotking saying, glad our union strike was effective. We'll see where we go from here. Wish us luck. Well, that's great. That was a pretty quick response. I'm glad to hear that as well, Plot King. Congratulations. And yeah, keep me posted. Oops. So we're going to paste him in here. We're going to sort of deform him a little bit so that his foot fits on the ground. And we'll just disable these two guys for now. Yeah, that guy is a little closer to like the anatomy of this guy. This guy we're going to redo eventually, but not right now. Okay. Now, we got one of the two guys. Now you want to get the guy who he's throwing. And we'll see if it actually feels like it fits. I think it'll work, but, you know, what do I know? I forget who teaches the lesson. Maybe Todd McFarlane always says that, like, if you're trying to do human anatomy, it's easier to draw where the points of their where their limb joints are going to be, with instead of trying to like draw the arm from here and then the thing and then the hand, you'd instead draw the points where the elbow and the hand are going to be in space and then make the arm match it. And for some reason it's like easier to visualize it that way. So yeah, this guy is like falling onto the ground. Oops. What if we did, I don't know why I drew his chest like that, but it would be this and, yep, good enough. Okay. So now we turn this half opaque and we make the real picture. Let's give him a different face. How about that one? He's very unhappy in this picture. Very good. Now we play the game. Flocking saying, I remember drawing the circles followed by the knees, elbows, etc. Gives an idea of the part angles. Yeah, it's like it helps you, I guess, to break everything down into shapes, because everything is just comprised of shapes in the world. And understanding how that works, you know, it separates it from the idea. They say that it's like easier to draw, you know, like a human face or whatever if you turn the picture you're working from upside down and you draw it upside down, because then you're not trying to draw a face, but you're just drawing something that's in front of you. And when you do that, it's totally, you're not using your preconceived notions of what a face is supposed to look like. And I think that's the same type of thing where it's like when you break stuff down into circles and other shapes, it takes away that notion of like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. Let's go back to this one. I don't know if we actually want to have the details on the front portrayed that much, or if we're gonna forego that, because it might be a little more detailed than some of the other. These are some of the more modern trappings that we might not want to use. But we'll leave it for now. It doesn't have to be completely faithful. Like we're using artistic license, obviously, for a lot of stuff. Whoa, that's not correct. Again, we're using that type of angle for the feet. We're not going to spend too much time getting everything exactly right, because we just want to rough it in so that we can see what it looks like in the frame, and then we'll do stuff to it. Great. What else do I want in here? Maybe like a little bit of that, and give him a belly button, I guess. Maybe like there. Can I get a... There we go. And maybe a couple of little pieces of musculature, I guess. We're gonna make his head bigger too. I always underestimate the head size. Maybe we'll give him more of a neck. Good. Come on. Oh, we're on the wrong layer. Oh, this wants to be... I see. Over here, because his body is twisting. Okay, so that's good. Take that and put it in, and we'll see that if it works at all, then we can worry about, you know, refining it. Let's try and see that his height matches the other guy. That looks about right, actually. Okay, so the main thing is, like, we want to fit him in without I guess we can move both of these guys to the side. Oops. Yeah, like that. And this guy, they almost have the same face. We're gonna have to change that. But again, that guy's gonna totally change anyway, so it doesn't matter. Archer guy we should make bigger in general. Overall, I do like this pose a lot better than the old one. So this is the new one. The old one was this. It's like a boxing thing, but I didn't really think that the pose of the guy getting hit was really interesting. And the first guy is like not really that dynamic. I think this one's more interesting. And it's got that kind of vagueness of like, you're not really seeing like a comic book style action shot, but there is action happening, which indicates to me the way that this Greek art used to look. Oops. Oh, I did something there. Oh, I inverted the selection. That's what I did. Great. Now two things. Number one, Archer, three things. Number one, Archer guy gets bigger. If we can make him any bigger. So now he's kind of the same height as these other guys. Archer guy, I also think I should give black hair, because he's currently kind of looks weird with white hair. Let's also give him an eye. Whoa. His eye is looking a little bit too much in upwards direction. Good. This guy is gonna go away anyway, but we'll just move him to, for the heck of it, so that he matches where everybody else is. Oh, we're using the wrong tool. Now we'll fill these guys in. Let's put all these in a group. And now we'll put a new layer. Okay. Great. Good. And we'll do separate under layers just in case we want to move these guys separately. his hands too are like it's like a little bit more advanced than the Greek style would necessarily be, but I think it works fine for our thing. Like, again, you don't want to be completely beholden to what history would have done, because then there's not a lot of room for artistic choices. This is kind of bothering me here. Let me do that. Okay, so that's good. Good. Okay, now we have all the figures in. This guy is going to change later because he doesn't look the same, to the same quality standard as the others. He was the first guy we did. But I think everybody else looks great. Love the wrestling match look. We can also do a thing too, which did exist with this stuff. It's not as often that you'll see it, but like we can do like this where he's like literally, that actually might even be better. Because now it looks like he's really throwing him, as opposed to here where he's like, yeah, you know, that might be better. Because that's not unheard of. Like with these horses here, we have the same thing where they're piled on top of each other. And I do want to do something with these horses, speaking of that. But now we're really nitpicking at this point. It's good enough to do what we're trying to do at the moment. Whoops. I just did a select all. Hold on. Oh, we still have this selected. So we want to select 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move these. Actually, we don't need to do that. We could just move the group. Okay, why is that happening? Great. This is looking real good to me. Now, I would like to, what was the thing I wanted to do? I wanted to change this horse, if it's possible to do so. You know, it's going to be pretty tough, but let's give it a shot. It's going to go like this. It's going to be tough. So we can select, can we select this on 2 different layers? Maybe. And now we are going to, no, it doesn't work. Crap. Okay. So we could just do this twice. Ugh. All right, it's still doing this. I want to make this a little smaller because this horse is supposed to be behind the other one, but it's bigger. Which doesn't make sense. So I can't like save a selection, but what we can do is delete that. Oh wait, what happened when I moved this? Oh, the hair did not move with it. Right, because the hair is a different thing. So we would have to take these. And scale this. I can't see what I'm doing though. Yeah, I can't tell where the thing is supposed to be. Let's just put it here for now. Well, if we put it over the red, that would be what it is, so that's probably right. Now we'll take this. We have to delete, or not delete, but turn off these layers. Just turn on this layer. Oops. This kind of looks freaky, like a skeleton horse or something. Now we'll turn this back on. That kind of worked, actually. Didn't expect that to work so well. Great. Why wouldn't it let me? It's on the wrong layer again. So we're going to put an outline around the outline to differentiate it from the black background sections. Okay, good. Now I'll turn these back on. Oh, this didn't get moved, huh? Great. Yeah, the guy up here is doing like the hand gesture that like Solid Snake or Naked Snake does when he goes into CQC. Doing one of those, but his legs are planted a little bit more dramatically than that. It's not really a stable pose, but it's more of like a Greek pose, like a Greek pottery pose. So I think that works. Good. Okay, so I think we're kind of done with this one. Next, we're gonna work on, and I don't mean done that the picture is done, but rather we're gonna do all the final details and redo all the lines so that they match and everything's clean. We're gonna do that after all the pictures are up to this quality standard. We don't want to completely finish any pictures yet because we want them all to match at the end. The next one to do is going to be this one of Ajax sitting at his dice game while Achilles is no longer there. So we kind of have a little thing. You can see it's going to be a black figure with the white outlines. And what else? It's a totally different type of anatomy that we're doing. This one has like, since it's a closer form of one figure, it's going to have more details like that, like fine details on the character. So this will be fun. And we have to find some stuff to put into this giant space on the side, which we don't have yet. Still thinking about that one. I'm not entirely sure what we want to put. But, we got our work cut out for us, and we'll work on this next. So thanks for joining, ladies and gents. That's going to do it for this episode of making our illustrations. If you want to see more info, I realized that on previous episodes I used the wrong command. The command is !Troy in the chat for more information about this book that I'm publishing about the fall of Troy. And give that a look. Hit the follow button if you like what you saw, and I will see you guys next time.